Do oil filters bypass at startup when it's cold outside? Hi, I'm Lake, the motor oil geek. Let's go to the dyno to find out.
Gosh, Lake, we actually set the engine up so that we could actually measure the pressure before the filter and after the filter. And we had some fairly interesting results. What happens when you're in the snow and you fire your engine up? Well, we figured out a way that we can test that.
This is Southern California. We can't replicate Minnesota.
We can't do that. We can't replicate it all the way.
No. But we had a pretty good idea.
We did, and we thought about this for a while. So we thought about, the simplest way we can do this is to take that oil, and we shoved it in Ron's freezer.
Oil gets thinner as it gets hotter. It gets thicker as it gets colder.
Yep.
We can get the oil below freezing.
Yeah, below freezing. And what we're gonna do, we've got this engine as cool as we can get it here in the shop. And the fun part about this is that we've got the gauges all set up so that we can see what the difference in the pressure is from the oil pump, which kind of looks like this, from the oil pump pushing the oil into the filter, and then we're also measuring it back as it comes out of the filter, and how hard it is to actually get that oil to go through this. Now, is this going to be the restriction? Or, because we don't really know, right?
We don't know.
Or the oil pump here has a bypass valve in it, as everybody knows.
Pressure relief valve.
Pressure relief valve. So as it's pumping that really cold oil, is it releasing so much oil that it's not getting the flow to the filter, so the pressure differential is not going to be that great in the filter? We're going to find out.
Just by getting this oil just down to freezing, just to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius, makes this oil 50 times thicker than operating temperature. So we're gonna be able to know, does that pressure relief valve, is that gonna bleed off so much oil that the filter media itself isn't the restriction?
Right.
Or,
gosh, I can't wait to find out.
Does it become so thick that it can't flow through it and we reach, a higher delta at lower temperature?
We're gonna find out.
All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, that looks like it's about 11, 12 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's nice and chilly. Woo-hoo. Yep, so there's the filter. There's our icy oil. It's cold. Let's go. Get it in the engine as fast as we can.
Look at that filter. That is so cool. The frost on the side of the filter.
I've never seen a frosty oil filter before. But I'm sure this is what it's like in Minnesota.
What did the gauge say, Lake?
12 degrees Fahrenheit. Ah. All right, there we go. All right, that's out of the way.
I'm watching the temperature in the oil pan right now.
All right. So here we go, moment of truth. Oh, look at that.
That's a little thinner than I thought it was going to be, huh?
Oh, well, synthetic 5W30 actually flows incredibly well.
Yep.
That far below zero. It's kind of like some oil engineers know what they're doing.
I think so.
Oh, now it's down to 48 degrees. Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about that?
Well, I'll be darned.
It's no different than it was when it was at room temperature. Yeah, this is what's going to the rest of the engine.
Yeah, this is
what's coming.
This is what's going to the filter, going to the engine.
All right, so at idle, cold idle with 50-degree oil, we're about a pound of pressure differential, so we're well below the bypass threshold.
Yeah.
So we've cranked our car, scraped the windshield if there was some frost on it.
We're kind of in a hurry to go to work, so we're only going to let it warm up for me a minute or two because we're in a hurry.
Yeah.
And then, but we're going to make sure to drive away slowly so that we don't really know what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, let's bring that RPM up a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Huh, interesting, Lake. Pressure differential of, it's just only a little over 1 pound. Engine coolant temperature is almost 100 degrees. The oil at the bottom is all the way up to 71, 72 degrees now.
So the volume of oil going to the filter with the viscosity of the oil that it is now, the filter media isn't functioning as a major restriction.
No, it's really not. It's really not. It's even at cold oil, the filter is actually doing its job, which also means that we showed the picture of that oil pump. The oil pump bypass is actually doing its job.
All right, and we know that obviously that thicker oil downstream, it's not able to flow past the bearings and the lifters and all the other leaks in the engine as well. Right. So I think we should just keep it running just like this, and let's watch and see as the viscosity decreases due to the temperature increasing, what happens to that delta? Does it get bigger or not? I mean, at this point, you're driving down the freeway 60, 70 miles an hour just about, and we're up to about 130 degrees of oil temperature from dead cold, and it's only been a couple of minutes. So when we did the calculation at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, that oil was 470 centistokes. At 212 degrees Fahrenheit, that oil is going to be 10 centistokes.
Which really means for the average guy, it's a lot thinner.
Yeah, lower number, thinner oil. We're almost to 200 degrees. We're at 180, and we've gone from basically 1 PSI delta. We're almost four now.
Almost 4 now.
Your bypass doesn't open because the oil is cold.
You know what, Lake? I don't think I really knew that a long time ago. I really didn't. I would have thought for sure that it would have done that. But that oil filter is designed such that that bypass has to have 7 or 8, I think, PSI. So we know that when we only have that 1 or 2 PSI difference as it's cold, the bypass is still shut.
Yeah, we're now at 210 degrees Fahrenheit. So we've gone from 400 centistokes. We're now at about 10 centistokes. We went from 1 PSI delta. We're still around that 4 PSI delta. There it is. And just for clarification, there is no filter bypass on this engine. We've removed the bypass valve from the engine, and there's no bypass valve in the filter. So the pressure delta you're seeing, that differential in pressure upstream of the filter and downstream of the filter, is what it really is. There's no bypass valve to influence those results. 4 PSI delta right now, just at 2,800 RPM at 240 degrees oil temperature. So oil is good and thin, less than 10 centistokes viscosity in the engine right now.
Right, we're gonna watch it as it goes up in RPM and load. Are we ready?
Yep.
Here we go. We're loading it up. I saw 6.5 and about 6.5 altogether. We can verify that by the recorded data, but that was fairly interesting.
The theory was thick oil, high viscosity oil can't flow through the media. What we're really seeing is that it's the displacement of the pump. The higher the flow, the more restriction there is through the media.
The pump speed increases, which means that the actual flow number, the oil coming out of the pump is greater.
Now you got leaks on this side, and we've got more flow coming that side.
Yeah.
That generates a larger delta than at lower speed, even higher viscosity. So it's really about flow, not about viscosity.
That's correct.
Which is weird because viscosity is represents the flow.
Right.
but it's about not the flow of the oil, it's about the displacement of the pump. If you want to know more about oil pumps, let me know in the comments below, and we can do a deep dive on oil pumps and their critical role in lubrication. Just to demonstrate the physics we're seeing on the dyno with the oil filter, I set up this little demonstration using a screen, a fan, and a fish scale. What we're going to show you is that as we turn the fan up on speed, more displacement of air, you're going to see more resistance across the screen, which is acting as our media. And we'll see that by a higher number on the fish scale. We're going to turn it on speed number 1. Rotate. High speed. So we learned 2 really important things here. First is that when the oil is cold and the pressure relief valve in the oil pump is diverting away that extra flow, there's just not enough flow, delta in pressure, to open the bypass valve even when the oil is cold. But when that oil gets hot and the viscosity goes down, and now the pressure relief valve is not diverting flow away, you could get in a situation where, as the filter loads with use, it could reach a point that maybe under wide open throttle, full flow, the bypass valve opens. As you may have gathered, we've actually done this same test before, but at a warmer oil temperature. We'll leave a link in the description box below for that video, which provides a little more detail into oil filter bypass valves. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. To learn more, check out one of these, and we'll see you next time.